Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork and Noodles for another breakdown of the Elusive Samurai. Welcome to episode 8, my friends. I am sorry about the midway not being up. This is a big week for me. Bear with me, I'll probably try and get it done at some point within the week. Thank you and welcome back to the channel, guys. I really am appreciative of all your support. I hope you're doing well, and again, as always, welcome from Japan and Saga. It's still really hot over here, and I've just watched the episode, so I've got some interesting things I'd like to talk about. Mainly this week we're going to be focusing on things like composition, lighting, and just the use of a few symbologies and colours. Lots of things being used this week that have a purpose to the story that we've got. I do think there are some questionable choices, but I'm not the person who was at the head of this, so obviously it's opinions. It's all listed opinions. I don't really want to go too much into the negatives anyway. I just want to go into the things that I really do like. And in particular, I like the first opening sequence. You can tell it's cold. For the first time in the show, you've got muted colours. The show is pretty much a very bright coloured show. We've gone through it a few times, saying it's quite a juxtaposition with how dark the story really is. This week in particular, a very dark story. I do love the use of fog. I love the atmosphere. You can tell it's really cold, especially with like the breathing of the smoke. I also love the animation. The animation on Tokiyuki when he's dodging and powering up, even if it does end up really kind of falling flat with it being nowhere. It's so nice. I love the colours. I love the phoenix symbology. So he's like a phoenix rising from the ashes. We're not quite there yet. I do think I've seen in the ED, I think it's the ED, he's got the proper wings. At some point he's going to be a phoenix rising from the ashes. And that's essentially a story that, I guess, of the underdog, which is pretty much what this is as an anime. So we can put it in the cues of, I guess, even Attack on Titan. If you're looking for stuff to compare, it would be that underdog story. Now, I do feel for him. I feel really bad for him because, again, he wants a way to fight. Every time I try, it's just getting worse. And I can relate to that. You know, you try so hard, but things don't really always work out. But I do like the fact that he's still trying. He doesn't give up. I did also find it interesting that we seem to be lying to Fubuki. I don't think he's lied to anybody else about his actual person, like who he is. So it's weird that he's choosing to hide his identity now. Like he's like, oh, I'm an orphan. Well, I mean, he is an orphan, but you're not saying exactly what your situation is. So I don't know why he has chosen to hide who he is. At no point for the other members of the cast who have had this masquerade going on, whether he just doesn't want him to know or not, or whether he's been instructed not to tell him, I'm not sure. But big questions. Now, I don't know where Sewer is, and this is did I miss an episode? But I definitely didn't miss an episode. This is probably one of my issues. I'm like, where is Sewer? Where are the backup people? Why is it these children fighting only at the moment? Because this guy is pretty terrifying. So I don't know if I've missed an episode. Definitely don't think I have. But maybe it's been done on purpose, as most of these episodes are. Now, I think it's pretty interesting. Again, we're looking into villains. I've already said that I like a complex villain to make a villain interesting. The villain's got to feel relatable at times. These villains are just terrifying. I don't think they're really relatable, but they are terrifying. They're very complex. I'm not quite keen on the camera work at certain points in this one. I don't know if I want to call it CGI. It might be. It definitely feels like there's a little bit of CGI in there somewhere. I feel like occasionally it just jarred me a little bit, but it might be the point that we want it to be jarring because these characters are scary. They're not supposed to be smooth. They're meant to make you feel a little bit awkward. So I think that's the point. They're using it just to make you feel this guy is dangerous. He's scary. Literally, these are kids. These are kids facing up to somebody like him. He's really tall. He's probably taller than me, and I'm an adult. Really scary. Now, I like the addition of Fubuki as our narration, our strategist, so you can kind of see what's going on. You get a plan. You get the idea of why things are moving in the direction that they are. There's a lot of movement in this week's episode, in particular with the even if it is just running down a straight corridor, moving people away from each other. Lots of movement. The villains in the show, always very ramped up, very extreme. This guy in particular showing no remorse for what he has done. Obviously, he's killed innocent children and he's done some very bad deeds, which we don't like this guy anyway, and I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in particular. I just wasn't expecting it to go the way that it did, but I'm not complaining. I'm very excited to see where they're taking it, because sometimes having a twist makes things a lot more interesting for viewing, and I think in this sense it's definitely an interesting viewing technique because I didn't know it was coming. So I'm now on the edge of my seats going, wait, where's Sewer? Where are all these items that I knew? Like, where is the things that I've relied on all the way through the show that have made me go, oh, I know what's going to happen. I feel at ease. So I definitely adore the composition of Tokiyuki right in front of the golden halo. Looks really regal, looks so holy. Very excited. I think it's a very nice choice to have him as almost a Buddha, and I like the naming technique of the technique we're about to see. It's very ramped up because this time around we're trying to find a reason why Tokiyuki has to fight, and it really is a build. There's a lot of that nice sketching artwork on the villains as they get more and more dark, and you can see him really just, I can't see a way out. I don't want to hurt you, but at this point I'm done. There's no hope here, and I am gonna, I'm gonna end you. And that's essentially what he's trying to build up for. And again, it's a moving point in the character's arc. I'm down. I'm going to make it serious. I'm not going to be waffling around anymore. I'm going to take it seriously. And the scene is pretty cool, but they do choose not to show anything, which is a curious thing, but I think it kind of works. I think in a show where it's been very, very violent and there's been a lot of brutality on screen, sometimes not seeing things can have a bit more of an impact, especially where we've always seen the violence in this show. Actually, especially with the character being the main character and not seeing him do the deed, but you can see the result of the deed, I think it maybe has a bit more of an impact as well, because you're still trying to paint this guy as virtuous. This is a character that we want to succeed, and I'm really backing him. So I like the composition. I love the use of gold. Gold is very prosperous. It's a good color. It's very lucky as well. So hopefully it's going to work out. We get the use of the word elusive thrown at us quite a bit. So very exciting to see where we go next week. The fight hopefully is ending at least in a bit more of a manner where we can see a bit more. At least we know where it's going to happen. But definitely seems like we're starting to come into the last quarter of the show. I know there might be a few books, so there might be enough for another season, but we're definitely coming into the last quarter. I don't think there's any more than 12 episodes announced, so we will have to see if anything else goes further, but very excited. I hope you guys are looking after yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you are staying hydrated because it's hot. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye.